If you're a student and want to make extra money without messing up your study schedule, then this video is for you. I've found 8 flexible side hustles you can fit around classes, deadlines, and even exam weeks, including some free easy methods you can start earning from today and a few long-term options that can grow into something bigger if that's what you're interested in. And make sure you stick around to the end, because I'll also share a quick tip that helps you avoid the biggest trap students fall into when trying to earn with side hustles. In case you don't know, my name is Mikael and I have tested hundreds of different ways to make money online, and today we are looking at side hustles that actually work for students and nothing that locks you into fixed hours. Just practical, flexible ways to earn in your free time, from fast, simple methods to long-term income options that can grow into something bigger over time. So let's go through them one by one so you can figure out which one fits best into your schedule and your goals. So before showing you the methods I want to talk about, let's first talk about the earning potential so you do it with the right expectations. I will show quite a lot of different methods. There will be some that are online, so you can just do it from anywhere. There will be some that are offline, where you have to do things in your local area, because what you prefer, of course, depends on you and who you are, your background and all this, but there will be options for all. There will also be options that are fast, where you can earn some extra money here and now completely for free, and then there will be some that takes more time, but that can potentially also build up into something bigger, potentially even into a great full-time income or more. But no matter what your goals are, then remember that there is no magical way to become rich online or just click a button and earn part-time income or anything like this. What I will show you here are realistic method. It will require time, effort. How much time and effort, of course, depends on your goal and the methods you choose. You can use just one of the methods, you can use all of them or combine them as you see fit, so you can try different things. That's all up to you depending on your preferences. I will explain a little bit about each of them, and then you can decide based on that. If you have any questions, anything, just ask in the comments below. I make sure to reply to every single comment there. So let's now jump to the first option. So the first option I want to talk about is one of the absolute easiest and fastest way to start earning a little bit of extra money on the side as a student, and that is taking paid service, because there are actually quite a lot of survey apps and websites that have quite a lot of different surveys for students. So that means you just sign up for these websites and apps completely for free. You don't have to pay anything to participate or anything like that. And then you just answer surveys and you'll get paid. It's not something that will make you rich or anything like that, but it's an easy way to earn a bit extra once in a while if you just join the right survey websites and apps that also offer the payout options you're interested in. Some offer PayPal, some offer bank transfer, some offer crypto as payment methods, some offer gift cards. But I do have a list on my website of the best surveys for students. I there have joining links so you can easily get started. I have full tutorials of the ones I've tested here. There's more than 30 great service sites for students on my website there. So I'll leave a link to that below if you decide this is the one for you. But please watch all the other options also, so you can decide how you can combine it for the best setup for you. Next, let's talk about YouTube and making small tutorials, because this can be a great way to earn some extra money, and if you just keep at it, do it the right way, then it can also be something that can grow into potentially a real online business with huge earning potential. But of course that will not happen overnight. That means you need to be committed, to put in time and effort over several months before you will potentially start seeing some traction. So just keep that in mind. But just to give you an example, there are thousands of topics that are searched for all the time on YouTube. How to is a very popular, one of the most popular search term online and also on YouTube. And you can see, for example, if we just take Google Docs, you can see there are a lot of videos here that get decent views, and they are easy to create. See, many of them are not even 2 minutes long. They're very basic, very simple to do, and if you do it the right way, make the channel the right way, find the right topics and all this, this can be a great way to make money, not just for ad revenue, but also with affiliate marketing, email marketing, all these different things. And the great thing is you can do it without showing your face, and you don't even have to be an expert when you start, because you can choose basically any topic you're just a little bit interested in, and then then learn as you move forward also. I do have also a page on my website that talks more about my top recommended way to learn this here. I'll leave a link to that below so you can also go check that out. I will also leave a link in the top corner here to a video. It's about a platform called Taking Action Online. It teaches all this step by step. It's the best training course for something like this I have seen. So if you're interested in that, learning more about that and putting in time and effort to potentially grow something bigger, then this can be an option. Let's stick to content creation with the next one here before moving over to something else again there. But if you like creating content, then you can also consider what's called UGC, that's user-generated content. And there are many platforms where you can join where it doesn't matter if you have any followers at all, anything like that, and find small campaigns where companies, brands are looking for small video clips, usually 30, 40 seconds or something like that, and they're willing to pay you for this. And it has become very popular because it can be a fun way to create content and start earning right away. It doesn't have the same earning potential as, for example, creating your own audience. So that's why I prefer that. If you want to build your own audience, for example, on YouTube or Instagram, whatever your preferred method is. But UGC can be a faster way to get started, can be a way to get experience with content creation. The challenge is that there's no guarantee that you will get selected for these different campaigns, but there are quite a lot of different options for this. And if you just want to get started with content creation and start earning more or less right away, if you get accepted for these campaigns, then that can be an option. I do also have a full video about UGC. I'll also leave a link to that below and in the top corner here, so you can learn more about that if you think this sounds relevant for you. So before moving on to the next option, I just wanted to make you aware that the majority of you watching have actually not subscribed, and many of you are maybe not aware of this, but it can actually be a free and very easy way to support my channel and help me so I can keep producing value-based content like this here. And you can just, it takes 1 second, click the subscribe button. You can always change your mind later. So I would really appreciate that. And also, of course, if you can hit the like button for this video, that would be really great. Thanks. Next, let's talk about focus groups. And focus group can actually be a fun way to earn some extra money, and it can be done both online and offline. And usually it will be for specific topics. And then if you qualify, you will just have to either show up online and discuss with a group or actually at official location. I've done this quite a few times because I find it quite interesting if you just find the right topics, and usually they do pay quite well. Just be aware that with something like focus groups, it can sometimes take patience to find groups that you can qualify for, because they're usually quite picky with who they accept for different focus groups. But a couple of examples where you can start looking is on Respondent. You can see some examples here. They actually often pay really well if you end up qualifying. Another way can be to go to focusgroup.org. They also have, you can see there's some examples here of some very high paying focus groups, for example, 250, 125, etc. But of course, they are not easy to qualify for when they pay this much. But these are just a couple of examples. I also do have a list of the best focus groups, online focus groups on my website. So I'll leave a link to that below so you can go and check that out there. There are full tutorials, joining links so you can easily get started. Because the important thing with focus groups is to join quite a lot of different ones, because you have to be lucky to qualify, let's say, once per week or once per month for specific platforms. So if you join a lot of them, you get access to more. That means you can continuously qualify for these focus groups, and that can give some nice extra money on the side. Next, let's talk about user testing. That can be testing websites and apps, giving feedback about it. Often you can do it on your own time. You just record your screen, for example. You get some kind of task where you are asked to test a website and then record your screen and explain while you're recording your voice also what you're doing, what your thoughts are. And this is something that can be also quite fun to participate in my opinion. This is just one way of doing user tests. There are different ways depending on the specific tests. And there are many platforms like this. Just like with focus groups, it can sometimes be hard to qualify. So that's a good idea to also join many different platforms. So then you will regularly qualify for them. If you qualify, they usually pay quite well. Exactly how much, of course, depends on the exact task and also the country you live in and all that. The highest I once got paid was $75 for something that took around 30 minutes or so, I think. So that was really high paying. That is also the most I've been paid for user test. Often is something maybe $10 to $50 for something that can be between 10 and 45 minutes or so. But a couple of places you can find that is usertesting.com. There is also a place like Testing Time, but also I do have a full list on my website with the best user testing websites that I have come across, where there are plenty to choose from. I'll leave a link to that below, so you can also go and check that out. There's also full tutorials of all of them, so you can check out more information about the ones you want to know more about. When it comes to making extra money, we do have to talk about freelancing as well, and that can be basically anything. It can be data entry, it can be even teaching exercise, fitness, coaching, graphic design. There are so many different options if you want to be a freelancer, but be aware that there's a lot of competition, especially on a popular platform like Fiverr. But that is just one example of a freelance platform. But here you can see there are so many different things that if you have any skills basically at all, you can outsource it on freelancing platform. What I recommend is to not just stick to something like Fiverr, because it is very competitive, and you need to be aware no matter what freelance platforms you are joining, you do need to take time in to build a proper portfolio. First, you need to price it maybe a little bit lower, get some great reviews, put in time and effort to build up a good reputation, and then it can build into a great side hustle. Some people even make a great full-time income from this also. But as mentioned, Fiverr is just one example. I do have a list also of some great freelance platforms, so you can find out which one fits you the best. I will also leave a link to that below, so you can find that on my website. If you would like to do jobs or micro jobs in your local area, then doing gig jobs or gig economy jobs can be great. And this can be, for example, on a platform like TaskRabbit, where you can see you can help move, become a personal assistant, general mounting, heavy lifting, IKEA assembly, indoor painting, all kind of tasks like this. This is just one example. You can see, for example, help moving. The average person will earn $50 per hour for that. You can see this is 59. For example, if it's event staffing, then it'd be 32. This is just one example. It can also be something like pet sitting on a platform like Petbagger. You can see what some people charge here. For example, $20 for a night, $30 for a visit. There are many different options like this. These are just two examples. It can also be food delivery, many other things. And if you put in time and effort, the great thing about this is that it's flexible, so you can put in the time and effort you want to. But if you then do that, it can also build up, potentially become even a full-time income. But that is hard, but it can be a flexible, great way to earn some extra money. I also do have a list on my website of the best gig economy jobs, so I'll also leave a link to that below, so you can go and check that out if you want to see more about these two options. But also I have many other options there where you can read full tutorials and find the best ones for you if you think this sounds like an interesting and relevant way for you to make some extra money. The last option I want to show you is research studies, because this can actually give quite good earnings, but it can also be hard to find the right ones that you can qualify for. But often you can find these on, for example, on universities. You can see there's one here for Weinberg College there of Arts and Sciences. They have a whole section where you can participate in research studies, and these are the current ones at the time recording this video. They might not be available by the time you watch it, but you can go here and then see the current ones. And you just click and read all about it. In this case, you can see what the requirements are, how to qualify and all that. In this case, you would earn $350 for full participation. Sometimes it takes quite a bit of time and effort, but it also does pay quite well, and in many cases you might actually get something out of it, also learn more about yourself or help with science. So just of course choose wisely. If you choose projects like this, it can be hard to qualify for, but it can then also be worth it. This is just one example. There's also this MIT management school here where you can see they have also a whole section here where you can learn more about participating in these behavioral research, for example. But these are just a couple of examples. I have also a full list, both where these two are mentioned, but many others also, where you can find links to the different websites, so you can get started, look more into which ones are the right fits for you. So those are the 8 options I wanted to show, but I also promised a bonus tip here at the end that can actually really help you, and that is if you only have a bit of time. Let's say you only have 30 minutes per day, then choose methods based on that, because some people do not think that they can do anything if they only have, for example, 15-30 minutes per day, but you actually can. You just of course have to be realistic and then set your goals and choose the right methods depending on that, because 30 minutes is definitely better than nothing. And even if it's just 30 minutes 3 times a week, it's still better than nothing. And the reality is also, in most cases, you can probably find more time than you think if you just start thinking about how much time you just spent on scrolling, for example, on TikTok or Instagram or streaming. If you actually want to make some extra money, then also put the time and effort into that, because then you can likely find more time, and the more time and effort you put in, the bigger a chance you have of also succeeding and achieving your goals. So I recommend that you are realistic, and then you set a schedule so you are sure you actually make sure to take action as often as possible and at least every week. And a very important other thing, and this is where a lot of people fail, because they just start jumping around because there's so many great methods. I just showed you some examples here, and each of these methods have several different platforms you can test out. So they just start jumping around, and most students make that mistake. They start 5 side hustles at once and earn almost nothing from all of them. So in my opinion, the better approach is that you choose, for example, one easy method so you can start earning a bit extra here now, and then one long-term method if your goal is actually to build something long-term. If you just want some extra money inside, then just choose a couple of these easy methods where you can start right away. But you can combine it like that. One easy method, earn a bit extra here now. One long-term method that can build up to something better, and then stick to that. Because if you just jump, then after a few days, after a week, after 2 weeks, you will not see results, and you will think that it's because it's not working. But in most cases, it's actually because you are not consistent enough. You haven't set aside the time, and you are just jumping around. Of course, what you will choose will always depend on your goals and your time. So make sure to be clear about that, and then choose based on that. And if you just want to stick to these free side income where you can start more or less right away, then I would say to stick to maximum 5 platforms at first, because if not, it can become overwhelming. You will not actually put in the time and effort to learn about all the details and how to get the most out of it, but then you can expand later. So that is how I would do it. And as mentioned, I'll leave links below to all the methods I've talked about in this video, so you can then go there and find more information about the ones that you think are the right for you, and then easily get started. I would also love to hear from you in the comments, which of the methods do you think sounds the most interesting? Or have you actually come across some that I didn't mention here that you have seen great results with? Then I would love to hear from you in the comments. And finally, also make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video with tips and tricks about different ways to make money online.